And it's going to be a bummer if it happens. And it's whatever the reasons, whatever why it gets to the point that it might. The losers are going to be you. The loser is going to be you. The fan, the people who are passionate about it. Good morning to you. And Merry Wednesday. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Would you say one of the highlights, or actually two of the highlights annually on the sports calendar in this state, is New Mexico State at New Mexico men's basketball and New Mexico at New Mexico State men's basketball?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. There's a real good chance, and I know I told you this probably, about a month and a half ago, that this might and probably would get to this point. Jeff Grammer has a story in the Journal this morning. Many of you have already looked at, maybe you've seen it online, that says there's a real chance that Lobos and Aggies will not play men's basketball this year, and probably only play once in women's basketball, right?
Yes.
And we're going to go through reasons and situations and what happened. This is not as simple as a situation that happened on UNM's campus last year when the game here got canceled. This isn't as simple as any one thing. This has been communication or lack thereof or whatever, planning. It's been going on for a while. And I've seen this come in for a while. And I hate it. I hate that it's gotten here. And why? Because of what I just said. Because I firmly believe that two of the biggest dates annually on the sports calendar in the state, you might even argue that the two biggest, depending on what your priority is, and so many of you are basketball fans, are when the Lobos play at the Aggies and the Aggies play at the Lobos. And there's a real good chance that they may not play at all this year. And the people who lose are the fans. Do you disagree with that?
I don't disagree with that at all. This is a rivalry that, despite not being a conference game, it works playing twice a year. More times than not, you're not getting a better game on the schedule. I've already seen that out there. Oh, we don't have to play them twice. You're going to get a better game.
Who you playing?
That's not true at all. It could be, but it's not a guarantee that there's a better game on the schedule. And as you laid out, these are two games that people look forward to. It makes sense. It works. But there's a whole lot of layers to unpack as to why we're sitting here talking about them not even playing once next season.
All right. Before you start with they drag down our net ranking and they drag down our net ranking, let's be very clear about this. Because I think I don't know if I'm looking at this in a short-term prism or if I'm looking at this as long-term. I know over the years, coaches who have come in, both to New Mexico State and to the University of New Mexico, have expressed concern, have been outward about not wanting to play the rivalry twice. Nobody else does it. It's not done. Does Louisville and Kentucky play twice? They're non-conference. They don't do it. Okay. You know who does it? This place. And I've heard a lot of coaches say it's different and it's unique and it's whatever. You know who cares about it? You know why it works here? Because it was here. Because it was kind of only done here. Actually, it's only done here, and it's New Mexico State and UTEP did it twice as non-conference. They're now, starting this year, going to be in the same league. Okay? So they will play twice just in the same league, but that rivalry is pretty intense too. You know who loved it? You did. The fan bases loved it. You loved when they came to the pit, the Aggies did. You loved Aggie fans when the Lobos went to the Pan Am Center. I've talked to a number of Lobo fans about this over the last month and a half. You love going down to the Pan Am Center, or at least have in the past. Now, this is in large part about security and issues that have happened, according to the University of New Mexico, at New Mexico State. And evidently there's been quite a bit of communication or attempted communication between UNM and NMSU about a plan to keep student athletes, fans, people associated safe. And we'll get into that, okay? But here's what I know. And I said this way back when Reggie Theus wanted, initially said, we should only play them once. And I know that there's been coaches and probably coaches currently who don't love playing them twice, home and home. It's bigger than you. It is. Coaches come and go, right? Athletic directors come and go. Eddie, and let me be very clear. And let me preface this by saying I really, really, really like Eddie Nunez and Richard Pitino. Okay? I think they're doing a terrific job. I consider Eddie a friend. I like Richard a lot. I like what Mario's doing down there. He's done really good things to keep that program competitive and to guide them into a new conference. Okay? Athletic directors come and go. Coaches come and go. You know who stays? You know who is there as a fan base. And I've always thought that this rivalry in particular is different because, it is different because they play twice. God, nobody else does it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And this place has always kind of prided itself on being a little different, hasn't it? Right?
Yes, it has.
It's worked for the fan base. And if you're going to sit here and tell me they dragged down our net, you know what? Go back, go look over the last bunch of years. Go ahead. Who dragged down whose net? There's years that you drag theirs down, and there's years that they drag yours down. Is New Mexico State going to be any good this year? Everybody tells me no. I have no idea who Jason Hooten's bringing in. I see names. I don't know. I'm going to guess the rebuild's going to take a little bit. But this is a lot bigger than 1 year to me. And just one coaching staff. Richard Pitino, Jason Hooten, they're going to be gone at some point, maybe next year, maybe in 4 years, whenever. You're going to be here. And you love this rivalry, and it means a lot to the fan base. And so as we dive into why this is happening, can I just at the top tell you I hate this, that it's gotten to this point, because this is one of those things. It falls under that Taylor Swift, this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
Right? This is why we can't have nice things. I got a 17-year-old. It's just I feel for the fans. And they're both going to point fingers at each other.
Oh, it's already happening.
All
If
right.
you read any of the comments,
I know. I haven't even read
why
it
aren't
yet.
you providing this safety plan? Why aren't you keeping our student athletes safe? This stuff happened in Albuquerque.
Yeah, I know it's going both ways. By the way, is there supposed to be a safety plan for on campus at 4 a.m. when a guy sneaks out onto campus? I mean, like, there's a lot here that we're going to get into. And what I'd like to do, if we can, and JJ, you and I have tackled a lot. We've talked about a lot of sensitive issues over the years. I'd like to keep it sane. I'd like to keep it respectful. But the reason I'm starting this way is because I hate that it's gotten here. Some of the most fun events, the best events, the most passionate games, the most memorable things that I've covered over my 27 years covering sports in this market. So many of them have been New Mexico State contests. And we're at a point now in history where I can't believe we're having a conversation about not playing basketball between those two teams.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and this is one that I want to see these teams play 2 times in a season. And Jeff Grammer tweeted it out last night. Over the last 25 years, if you take the average net or RPI and combine those over the last 25 years, UNM is 87.5. Mexico State is 109.5.
There's not a big difference.
There's not an argument to say, hey, this game should only be played once because you're going to go play a better game.
Who are you getting better that's 110?
Like, this works. The fans enjoy it. It's a good rivalry.
Oh, and it sells out your building.
And you sell a lot of tickets to it. What has to happen now is provide a plan. Get on the same page. An incident happened in Albuquerque, an incident happened in Las Cruces. And these athletic directors have to cover their bases with all the ish that is going on, with what we saw happen last year, with what the New Mexico State Athletic Department is still dealing with. For anyone to sit here and not think that these two universities should be overly cautious and at least cross all the T's and dot all the I's, and they just want to say it's someone else's fault, you're just too much in fan. You got to take a step back and realize that both these schools should be putting something out there because of what we saw happen.
All right, here's what we're going to do. I'll open it up for you today. I'm going to ask for a bit of civility. I might be a little bit more. Well, let's just see. I trust you. How about that? But I understand this is passionate. Like, I understand those of you who are from here grew up with this. You grew up going with your dads 2 games a year, whatever. And even if you're not, man, and I'm not from here, but 27 years is a time now. The first event I ever covered on the road was New Mexico State. I went down with the SAT truck at Channel 7 and did a football game down there. Jim Hess was the head coach. Dennis Franchione was the head coach. I mean, that's what I remember. Go down there a lot. I've called games for both schools. I've done Aggie Vision. I've done Lobo games. And I've been called all kinds of names. You're this, you're that, whatever, man. I've got a lot of respect for the people of both places and the fan base of both places. But what I do know, JJ, is what that series, what that rivalry means to fans. And, there was a part of me that wanted to come in with a blowtorch, and I'm not going to do that. But what I do believe Eddie is doing the right thing in protecting his people. His job is to make sure that his team, his coaches, his fan base, his staff, his people are safe. So is Mario's, right? That Eddie's going to be gone one day. Richard Pitino's going to be gone one day. Jason Hooten's going to be gone one day. Mario's going to be gone. I just sure as hell hope this rivalry isn't gone as well, because I think that would be an insane disservice to everyone. Now, when we come back, we're going to walk through this, okay? I'm going to tell you kind of where this stems from, what I know, what's out there. This didn't just pop up yesterday when Grammer published the story. I told you this about a month and a half ago, didn't I? That this was brewing. Yeah. That this has been bubbling for a while, and I was hoping that they were going to be able to figure it out. That's why I didn't bring it to this show. That they've been trying to get to a resolution. I think they still are. I've been in touch with Eddie this morning. I've got a note out to Mario. But when we come back, let's walk through the timeline as I know it, and lay it out. This isn't they did this, they did it. Let's kind of walk through it. And let's hope we get to a point where we're playing ball. They both have room on their schedule, right? But again, I ask you all the time, who are we doing this for? Who are we doing it for? Is it for the student athletes? Is it for the administration? Is it for the fans? If it's for the fans, man, got to get this figured out. It's the opening drive, area code 505-246-0610. That's the 377 Brewery hotline and how you get here today. 505-246-0610 will also be the text line. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ@sportsanimалabq.com. On the Twitter, it's _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, watch the show simulcast. Adrian's produced on ProView Network, Comcast Channel 26, on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, and on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. We'll walk through the timeline, how we got here, what's going on, and how do we get out of it on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier. like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about. We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We get here, and how do you feel about it? Very good chance the Lobos and Aggies won't play basketball this year. They're playing football in Albuquerque this year. But I want you to understand that the football situation is actually part of what's going on here. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. So this has been going on for a while. What is today? I mean, tomorrow's June 1st, right? So this has been going on for about five and a half months. Conversations, and probably longer than that. And it goes back to the football game. When did they play? It was mid-October, right? Football game down in Las Cruces this year?
Yeah. Where
you're well aware of the fight that happened, which evidently led to the shooting and the retaliation and the death of a UNM student, correct? So you're aware of that. Also, UNM, and I've heard this from a number of people at UNM and in their administration, that there was security issues there. Now, both, where's UNM's students section at football? Is it on the? It is. It's on the opposing side, right? And I believe
They moved it to the north end zone.
Oh, that's right. It's on the north end zone now. That's right. It used to be over there. And at New Mexico State, evidently, the student section was right behind the UNM bench. It's pretty tight in there, right? You've been to that stadium. And people were, according to UNM, throwing objects, bottles, things, evidently went on the field, stole a football and or a helmet. I've heard a number of stories. I've heard that UNM tried to get New Mexico State to address it. An associate or a deputy athletic director came down in the third quarter, said, yeah, there's nothing going on. We're good. And UNM felt that there was a lack of security to keep their party safe. Okay. So that's part of what's going on here. Okay. Then you have the incident in Albuquerque. Mike Peake comes out of the hotel, you have the shootout, games got canceled. You're well aware of all that. According to what I understand from UNM, they have a plan. They have a security plan. In fact, I've been told that after that incident, they readdressed their security plan to make sure that everybody is safe. Eddie Nunez has told me that what he's asked is, I want a security plan. Police, not just like, student security people. What is the plan that's going to keep our people, everybody safe? Understand that while the Pan Am Center is on the campus at New Mexico State, they do not own or manage the Pan Am Center. Do you know that? That's run by another company, another group?
Learned that yesterday.
Yeah, that's part of the deal. And so Mario's claim is, well, I mean, I don't control that. Well, okay, but you've got to have control of that. Does that make sense? Even if you don't control it, you have to have control. If it's your event, if it's your basketball game, you got to have control. I rent University Stadium from the university. I work with UNM on plans for a New Mexico Bowl. It's ultimately, right, it's up to me to make sure it's all right and everybody's safe. And according to Eddie, Mario has not come back with a plan to make sure that UNM, their players, their fans will be safe. This thing has gotten quite emotional. JJ, you were watching the social media. I mean, was it? I didn't get the pulse of social media. I can only imagine.
Well, the social media, it's going to be each side blaming the other side.
Right.
And going, this is ludicrous. How can you be the one asking for a plan when this stuff happened in Albuquerque? It's pretty simple if you take a step back. And it is not crazy. It is not the wrong thing for each school to look at each other and say, all right, what are our plans for safety at all these games next season, just to make sure our bases are covered after what we just saw happen last year. That is not crazy at all. That is actually what should happen right now.
Eddie says that they've got a plan at the pit. They've got security. They've got state police or UNM police or whatever it is. I shouldn't speak out of term. I don't know exactly which branch it is. I don't know if it's state police, UNM police, APD. I know they use Rio Rancho police for a lot of this stuff. But they've got a plan. He said that when the incident on campus happened, they revisited their plan, made any revisions just to make sure that they felt that they were prepared. Okay? Eddie told me flat out, he said, it's about being prepared with a plan that we feel will give us the best chance to make this event safe and special. It won't be perfect, but we'll be prepared if anything arises. I guess for those of you who are upset, and I think everybody's upset, but for those of you who are blaming UNM and saying it was one of their students who started this happened on their campus, you're not wrong, okay? What did you want the athletic director to do? Should there be a plan? I've run this through my mind a zillion times. What sort of plan would have prevented a student who's not involved with athletics, or students in plural in the situation, right, on a retaliation thing for a guy who was catfished, right? I mean, he like Mike Peake, let's be real. I mean, I'm not looking to make light of this thing. He left the hotel in the middle of the night to go get him some, right?
Yes, he did.
There was a young lady, and he thought he was going to get lucky, and that's how he got lured out, right? So, was it a UNM group of students who lured him? Evidently, absolutely yes. So I'll ask you, when you yell that UNM started this and their athletic department, okay, what did you want their athletic department to do? What should their president have done? Because I run this through my mind a million times. Now, for those of you at UNM who are yelling and screaming and it was their fault and their player left and their coach didn't have control. All right, we got an issue. That's an athletic department issue, and yeah, their student athletes snuck out. There's a whole lot of blame. The issue now as we move forward is how are you keeping people safe?
Control the controllable.
That's right.
Have a plan in place
that's the way to put it.
at your venues,
that's
at your football game and at your basketball games, and that should not be hard to figure out. It shouldn't.
Well, it should be standard operating procedure.
Oh, we don't own this building. Talk to the people that do.
We'll figure it out. That's right. I've heard that, New Mexico State says, we don't have the resources. If we were in Albuquerque, we could use state police. They got state police in Las Cruces. They've got off-duty police officers that are willing to work overtime and provide security. You've got campus police. From what I understand, the chief down there has not been in touch with the chief at UNM in regards to this. Like your point is, I think you put it as, I just talked for 25 minutes. You put it as concisely as you can. There should be a plan in place to keep people safe at an event. Period. Now, if there is one and it's not adequate or it's not satisfactory to your guests, then you got to have a conversation and figure this thing out. If in fact this everything that UNM claims is true, and NMSU disputes some of this, okay, but if in fact there were students or let's say people who came down the field and stole a football, stole a helmet. And New Mexico State told me the same thing happened at UNM the year prior. All right, then that's a problem. Neither one of them are okay. But to your point, have a plan. And you know what? If you need to over-security this damn event, then do it.
Absolutely. This is one that I think there's definitely still a lot of hard feelings. But it's one, you take a step back in what you said. Do the fans want to see this? Do the fans want this game twice? And I believe that the majority do. Now, fans are always going to poke each other. They're always going to go back and forth. They're going to take it over the top in social media. But I haven't been at a basketball game where I haven't felt safe. But when you saw what occurred at the football game, when you see what could happen, it absolutely makes sense to, as you just said, overdo it when it comes to making sure everything is on track so we can move forward from this. There's going to be bad apples, but you also want to make sure that everyone else that is there, there's families there, there's kids that were talking about building something, getting people in constantly, that these are events you can go to as an opposing fan. You should be able to go there and not feel like, oh, these are just going to go from smack talk words to how are we going to get out of here safely.
AC says, I wish UNM would stop being all high and mighty. I've been to 10 times games where fans verbally and physically came in contact and threatened me and my family and friends. Now that I'm older, I refuse to go to anything UNM. See, that's not okay. Now, I don't know if you've brought that up to anybody or it's been I don't know. But that's not okay. All right. Phones are ringing. I got two lines open. 505-246-0610. That is working, so you can punch names in there if you want. I'm going to the phones when we come back. I want to hear your thoughts on this because it looks like the Aggies and Lobos may not play basketball this year. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is brought.
There's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get one run back. That one's hit on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
All right, let's go. We're talking about the Lobos Aggies basketball series. What does it mean to you? So kind of laid it out where we are, how we got here, what the issues are. I'm going to guess when it comes down to it, you probably don't care. You want to see Lobos and Aggies play. Let's go. 505-246-0610. Dan, you're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Jeffrey.
What's happening,
How
Daniel?
You doing? JJ, welcome, DC.
What's up, Dan?
Yeah, you can put all the safety precautions in place that you want to, but you can't plan for stupid, which is exactly what these young people, the way they acted. You just can't plan for that. How do you do that? You've got young people from all over the country and the world growing up, trying to find themselves, trying to fit in, and they do stupid stuff.
All right.
And so, how do you plan for that? You can't, man.
Well,
you can't blame it on the blame game. Is not the way to go about this right here. You just learn from it and try and put as many precautions in place at both venues. But you don't stop the teams. I mean, I love picking at my brothers that went and sisters that went to school at New Mexico State, and when they come up and play, we literally go watch the game and sit together so we can harass each other while the game is going on. And that's when we love that. We love the rivalry, but it's gotten ridiculous.
Gotten ridiculous in what way, Dan? What do you mean when you say it's gotten ridiculous? What does that mean?
Well, the whole idea of the rivalry is a violent thing. The rivalry is a mean thing. Yeah, it's mean in the sense that we're kind of mean to each other when we're talking about sports and stuff. But it shouldn't be a violent. It shouldn't be a mean thing. They're taking it totally out of context. It had nothing to do with the game. That was something that happened on campus that was away from the game. Yes, it involved student athletes. Well, take the student athlete out of the equation and give them their due discipline and continue forward.
All right, Dan.
That's
I appreciate you, and I appreciate the call. Always do, Dan. Thank you, because it's interesting. He said it's gotten beyond a rivalry a little bit. It's gotten.
Well, that's I think a problem in sports in general is hatred is okay.
Violence is okay
as long as you're doing it in support of your team.
Here's one thing I don't know, and it matters, but it doesn't. I don't know who or what started that fight. Right? So much of it, like UNM saying, okay, our student athletes and our people on the sideline weren't safe during the games, and they didn't provide security. That's what they're saying. NMSU saying, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I mean, New Mexico saying we need a plan from them to make sure our people are safe, and they're claiming New Mexico State hasn't responded with a plan. We know about that fight in the stands. We've seen the video. I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter who started. I don't know. But the point is, it got there. Now, you're going to tell me there's fights at other events, and you're right. And you're right. Art, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Art.
Very long time no hear.
Yeah, good to hear you. What's happening?
Good. So, no, you know what? My thing is, it's almost like he says, she says, and some of the communication things going on between the two campuses. I think, when this had happened, people weren't thinking things should have been done that weren't done. That's water over the bridge, right?
I imagine.
But in reality, with anything, if they can't communicate, then really, you might as well just say, you know what, it's been a nice ride, nice kind of wild marriage for a while, but let's move on. Let's each get a different opponent for that sport or basketball or football, and just you go your way, we'll go our way, and have a nice marriage. Just why continue to put yourself in a situation to where obviously these guys don't like to talk to one another.
All right, so you're saying move on. You're saying it was good, it was fun, move on. All right, appreciate you, Art.
You bet, brother.
Thanks.
Be safe.
I think that's the wrong answer, but that doesn't mean I'm right. You know why? Because so many people love this rivalry. Because it's two of the biggest days on the calendar every single year.
And I really do like what you said about it. Is you're gonna have coaches, other people come in and go, oh, we didn't do this. How is that? Okay, but this is here.
It's how we do it here.
This is something that matters in non-conference play. You fill the buildings when everyone tells you college basketball doesn't start to March. Well, that's not the case here.
And it matters to your fan bases. I get it, man. And I said what I said earlier. Reggie Theus said it. We've had other coaches. Why nobody else plays twice? Kentucky and Louisville don't. You know what? But they do here. Because it matters to these fan bases. Because it matters when New Mexico goes down there, when the Aggies come up here. It matters. And now, look, you got people in position in history, and they'll be gone, whoever it is. And you're going to be around here and just going, what happened to our rivalry? And I think that's a bummer. I think it's just a real, real bummer. I'm not looking to place blame. I'm just saying you got people in position right now that it feels like we're at a tipping point. Jess, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Jess.
Good morning, gentlemen.
What's happening?
Good to speak with you. Welcome, DC, to the club. This is the Winners Club. But I'm going to take a little different angle here, Jeff.
Yeah.
I don't really care what Mario Mocha has to say, dude, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I have no respect for that man anymore. And New Mexico State, how they handled that whole situation. We know the other one I'm talking about. I don't even, to me, I don't care. I don't really, to anything right now that they say, I lost so much respect for them. And I'm talking on a different level. I have the sports hate with them. But just in terms of your one job is to make sure that students that go to your school are safe. And you failed them, and no one took accountability for that. You fired a guy and fired everybody and got rid of the whole team, right? The whole team was gone. That's how you handled it. So going forward, the guys that were in charge there, none of them took accountability for it. And as far as I'm concerned, going forward, I don't care what any of them have to say. And Eddie Nunez can say whatever he wants to say because that wasn't his situation that got mishandled. And as far as it looks, he's doing everything he can on his side. So Mario, I guess do something. I don't know.
So let me ask you about the people would come back, and I know what Aggie fans seething and saying, well, if you're going to tell me that it's Mario's job to ensure the safety of his student athletes, whose job is it to ensure the safety of the students? Now, that goes beyond the athletic department, but the UNM students, do we have? I mean, there's no dispute here, right? The UNM students are the ones who lured the athlete onto campus, correct? And
right, and we're talking the gray area, right? But I think anything that involves a game is now in your jurisdiction, right? Anything that's athletics is technically now your jurisdiction. That's how I would look at it.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know, Jeff. It's an ugly situation. It's bad. They got to figure it out because what a great thing that we have here. And like you just mentioned, how rare that is, even for big programs that don't have something like we have here. And what a New Mexico thing for us to do. That's sad. And I'm allowed to say it because I'm from here, born and raised. We always New Mexico it up, and we're doing it right now.
This is
and
why
it's a shame.
This is why we can't have nice things. Jess, great to hear you.
This is why we can't have nice things. Have a great day, guys.
It's interesting. I'm going to stick to that, and I did when Reggie said it. I've done it when other coaches have come in. I'd rather schedule someone else, and we could get another game, and nobody else plays non-conference opponents twice. New Mexico and UTEP did forever. Yeah, you're right, but it's done here, and this place is different, and it worked here for a damn near a century. Now I understand times have changed and things are different, and we had a big incident, but let's not put an end to it. Let's figure out how to get through it.
Absolutely, and this is one where the focus, it's going to be put back on the on-campus but off athletics territory incident. This is about both schools being on the same page, saying, hey, in these venues we can control. This is what we're going to do for the games because we know tensions are high. People are going to go back and forth. They're going to be poking each other. Who knows who's going to go over the top in these situations. And it's not crazy. It's not outrageous to say, hey, we're going to have a plan in place at both universities.
Control what you can control. If you're on the phones, please stay there. Got to take this break. Coming back to you. Figure you're going to have a lot to say today. Get you all your correspondence in on the potential of Lobos and Aggies not playing basketball against each other this year. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Jim Rome Show is up next at 10 on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Only one line open right now as we talk about the Lobos and Aggies potentially not playing basketball this season. 505-246-0610. David, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, David.
Good morning. Thank you. Listen, this whole incident happened within a couple of months, basically October through November, but of course it spilled over. It's not a fight between New Mexico State University and UNM, but it's kind of been described as being it's an Aggie Lobo thing. No, it was between two people. But this hate has been fanned by fans of both sides, both Aggies and Lobo fans, and by media who kind of stirs it because it is a story. That being said, the safety issue I think can easily be addressed. You put police there, you put them behind the bench, you make sure you protect them as they come in. Don't stay in Albuquerque, don't stay in Las Cruces overnight. But here's what I suggest. I suggest each school establish what I'm calling a good sportsmanship committee. I think there'd be a better name for it, consisting of representatives of both schools. And the makeup of the committee would include student leadership from both schools, student athletes from each school, perhaps members of the cheer squad, representatives from the athletic departments, the athletic department faculty rep from each school, and a public member, like a prominent member of the Booster Club. The group would meet this summer, in the next few months, with a purpose of cooling down the hate between each of the schools and encouraging a healthy but safe rivalry. We need to move forward.
Appreciate you, David. Thank you. Wow. It seems simple, doesn't it? From what I understand from New Mexico State, they're telling me, New Mexico State tells me that their police chief has talked to UNM's police chief twice. That they don't, again, and I'll tell you this again, and I know I told you this earlier. New Mexico State, unlike at the pit, where UNM controls the venue, New Mexico State doesn't. It's controlled by special events on campus, but they still need a plan. It feels like just get the extra police in there, have a plan. But it's where we are. Do I have time for one more? All right, Aaron. Good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Jeff. New Mexico State, give me a break. I'm sorry, I've been watching this rivalry since the 90s, so that's when I graduated to UNM, and there's always been brawls. Unfortunately, now there's guns. But this is how you do it. Don't go and pawn off. We don't manage NMSU. We don't manage the arena. It's a campus event. Have the police there. And when a brawl breaks out like happened and we have on video, get the cops over there to break that crap up and put people in jail. And so they don't do it again. And so you don't have these lane-bringing kids. I'm sorry, they're still kids. I know that they're adults now, but, they hatched up an idea of something really stupid, brought a gun, and look what happened. What you got to do, and then the whole Albuquerque State Police. Give me a break. That was a dig at the governor because she had to send state police in here to help us out with our crime problem. That's stupid. All you got to do is, if there's a fight, you break it up. You put people in jail. You make announcements. You try to calm things down. You put cops there. You put security there, and you control what you control. There's going to be fights.
Yeah. No, Aaron, I appreciate it. Hey, we're at the top of the hour. I appreciate the call, Aaron. Thank you for the call. Don't be a stranger. If you're there, please stay there. Want your thoughts on this. It feels like the answer is control what you control. Have a presence. Whatever the presence wasn't big enough. Bring in a bunch of people, right? Have a plan. Now we're pointing fingers. We're really going to watch this rivalry go away because pointing fingers? They didn't respond. We don't control the building. You don't have a plan. We're not safe. And you lose two of the biggest days on your calendar. We got to get through this, don't we? It's the opening drive, Jeff JJ, DC, on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Jim.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the...
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
All right, here we go. Lobos and Aggies. Rivalry of enchantment. How many games have you been to over the years? How many of those Lobo Aggie games have you been to? They play twice a year. We've heard nobody else plays non-conference twice a year. That's right. They do here. And it means a lot to these fans, and it's worked over the years. JJ read you the stat that Jeff Grammer said. No one's pulling down anyone's net ranking over the last, 25 seasons? 20 seasons.
25 years.
25 years. Lobos' average net or RPI is 87.5. New Mexico State's 109.5. Good chunk of the last decade, New Mexico State was way higher than UNM. Is that the reason? Is New Mexico State just not going to be very good this year, and so that's why you don't want to play them or play them twice? I've heard that a lot. I don't know if that's right. All I know is this rivalry means a lot to you, to the people who go to those games, the fans. People who have been here for a long time and are going to be here for a long time. And we're in danger of watching it go away. Why? I'm going to the phones here at 505-246-0610. If the issue is security, and Mario Mocha, the athletic director at New Mexico State, said, and he's not wrong. They don't manage their building. There's only so much they can do. Okay. If the issue is police and funding, I almost would promise. Don't you think if they went to legislature and or to the governor and said, look, we need to keep people safe to keep this rivalry going. We need X number of dollars to hire X number of police to work this game. Don't you think the funding would show up in a heartbeat?
I do.
I do too. If that's the issue, but like everybody said, there should be a plan. Come up with a plan. We've had issues. If you need a new plan, there should be a plan.
And if both universities put a plan in place, then it's not, pointing the fingers or someone rolling over or giving up. Just put it out there. Say, this is what we're doing at our venues.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it's not your venue if you're New Mexico State, but you're
it's
playing
your event.
there. Who's on the walls? When you walk in the Pan Am Center and it's New Mexico State, everything, figure it out. All the fans are sitting here this morning. They understand the situation, how wild it got, but they're going, really? Like, you guys are going to sit there and point fingers and not just put something down saying, hey, this is what we're agreeing to in our basketball facilities and our football stadiums, just so we cover all our bases in this rivalry.
Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Thanks for holding.
Good morning. Hey,
Okay.
Jeff, first of all, hey, thanks for reaching out to me when my dad was in the hospital. That really meant a lot.
How's he doing?
He's back at home, and he's getting a little better. You know, it's a long road back when you're 96 and you end up with pneumonia in the hospital. That was just a tough week in the hospital for everybody. But I really appreciate the kind thoughts. You know, I don't want the rivalry to end. I don't want to see it go away, but maybe playing each other twice isn't practical anymore. I understand why we did it in the past. We did it because the schools were closed. We did it because it was hard to get games. We did it because that's how rivalries were back then, and it was a unique one. But maybe we have to just change the model and just play each other once a year and rotate every other year.
Why?
Maybe that's the answer.
Why?
Because I think what happened last year still has people jumpy, and I think until New Mexico State comes out and affirmatively says, hey, we accept our responsibility for this. You've never heard them say that yet. That's my problem with New Mexico State. I know that you can't control everything, but the response has been, hey, we didn't do anything wrong. Hey, we didn't do anything wrong. Hey, it's out of our control. UNM installed, you know, people hated it. The first response by Eddie was to install metal detectors, wasn't it?
Was that? I don't recall the timeline. If you're going to tell me that's right, I'll take your word for it. Was that the timeline on
Yeah,
that?
pretty much.
Okay.
And, you know, it had been tinkered with for a while, but that was the impetus to make UNM up the security, and I'm fine with that. You need more of a police presence at New Mexico State and New Mexico if you're going to play that game. I think that maybe you take a hiatus and you play each other just once a year in basketball, and you rotate and you see how that works out. The two things, I don't know. I just don't know if it's possible because
Let me ask you this.
There's still a lot of raw feelings.
Hey,
Let me put it that way.
Can I ask you this? 'Cause and I'm not sure I think you're wrong when at NMSU said we don't take responsibility. Has the university, not athletics, has the University of New Mexico taken responsibility for their students who initiated the incident?
Absolutely. They kicked the students out of school. You know, those students are facing criminal charges.
Mike Peake was kicked out of school, was he not?
Mike was, but you didn't see anybody charged. He brought a gun on a campus. That's a crime.
So did those kids,
I think
right? Like
You know,
there was a
that
lot of
should have been
culpability.
charged.
Now there was a lot of culpability. You know that, right? And there was a lot of culpable parties. And I think we just got to get to the point where we're past pointing fingers and saying it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. Doesn't do anybody any damn good. There's one young man's dead, another one's career in life has been destroyed, and a whole program was blown up.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to play the blame game. That's my point. You know, I just think we need a safer way to go forward.
All right. And I appreciate you. I'm going to disagree with you on thinking that they just need to go once. I mean, I think they need to go at least once. Rudy, thanks for the call. I think they need to go at least once. I don't know. This rivalry seems to have worked pretty well for both schools twice a year for a long time.
If you can figure out a way to play once, then you should play twice.
Well, and once would be here because UNM says we're not going there, and Mario said, why would we've done this for the last century? Why am I just going there and they're not coming back? Right now we're to standoff. It's worked. It didn't work last year. You had a one-time incident. Okay, it wakes you up and you need to change the way you're doing things and protocols and plans and security and fine. Yeah, okay, wake up and let's react to it. And let's do everything we can to not let it happen again. Now, I don't know how you're going to stop a kid from going out in the middle of the night to go try to get some. That's on you and your staff and honestly on your individuals. I don't know. It's worth blowing up the whole rivalry. All right, let me give you some off of the text line. 505-246-0610. This one says the Aggies know damn well they're going to get swept by the Lobos this year, so they're all for it. Look for NMSU to just gladly work in Dixie State a couple more times. No biggie. Okay. This one says same guys. NMSU is trying to get out of 2 sure losses. That's the bottom line. Okay. I don't know. They're probably not going to be very good, right? They got to redo the whole team. But I mean, I don't know. In today's day and age, you bring in some players. I don't know how. I have no idea what they're bringing in. This one says if the NMSU UNM rivalry matters, the schools should use that desire to bait each other into implementing a safe environment and security plan, including not playing games for a year. If those rivalry games, to include basketball and football, fall away due to a lack of security and safety, then so be it. Okay, I just really.
I guess, too, what I would say is if you feel that there's such an issue, why is the football game still scheduled?
Because it's here, I guess. Fair. Yeah. Text line, Wikipedia, both programs, hoops history. The Lobos have never accomplished anything ever. A Lobo student tried to kill an NMSU player, part ways and let NMSU go on winning. Okay. This one says, I went to the football game in Las Cruces. Alcohol was a factor. There wasn't enough security at the game. Don't let drunk students / people into the game. 0 alcohol sales at the game. It might be an option. Cut off no alcohol for that game. People are drinking in the parking lot. You saw the video of the fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was one cop right there, right? Now, if there were, I don't know, 5, I don't know what the number is. Would that have happened? Would it have gotten broken up more? It felt that there wasn't enough security in that one spot. Now, look, are you going to have 5 cops everywhere? You're not, man. This is.
But that happened. Those things happened.
Yes.
And now moving forward, it's what are you doing at those venues?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And even if you don't like the other institution, why wouldn't, this is what you want to see then? You want to beat your rival. You want to play these games.
I just
let us move on. They need to move on from what?
Fix it.
Honestly, it's not. You're not popping up a game that you're gonna feel that much better about.
There's not one.
You're not.
Team that you're gonna play. I mean, what are you gonna get?
Last year, what New Mexico did, when they San Francisco like that,
and Oral Roberts. That's what they got. Yeah. You feel better about that?
But that was usually you combine that with a game that's pretty good in a rivalry contest.
You always had a true road game.
Yeah.
You had a decent RPI or net rank, whatever the term was at the time, coming in. If you're going to look at this as a 1-year little bubble, I think we're really short-sighted on this. Just because New Mexico State theoretically is going to be down this year, and they very well may. We're looking at a 1-year window on this. I think we're really short-sighted.
Yeah.
James says, Jeff, that wasn't New Mexico State fans throwing crap at Lobo football at the game down there. It was me, disgusted by what I was watching. All right. Fair enough. Communication, says Les. How can you not have communication, Jeff, when you have an entire office full of nothing but overpaid mouthpieces? Yeah, but they're not the decision makers. The people that you call the overpaid mouthpieces. All right. Dan says, does Derek Charles, that's you, DC, know about the producer scout, Jeffrey and Juan Jose? Does the new guy know he's responsible for doing the OD Lobo football home opener Tennessee Tech scout? No, he doesn't know that yet. But you got to do the big scout on the first game against Tennessee Tech. You come in with a scouting report. You book the opposing coach the week of the home opener, and so I believe it to be Tennessee Tech. All right, want to turn the page a little bit, talk about some other stuff. We got a NBA Finals going on. If you want to get in on this, look, I'm not done talking about this. My thoughts are pretty clear on this. I understand how they got here. I'm not going to sit here and point fingers and say they did this and they did this. Our job was today to kind of hope you understand the background of what's going on. It wasn't just about the incident on campus. It wasn't just about the fight in the stands. Evidently, there's been communication or lack thereof going back and forth depending on who you listen to. And the bottom line is, Mario says we don't control the building. Okay, but you got to get with the building. I asked Mario, how do you get a plan? How do you get with them to get a plan? Somehow, if it's funding, here, I'll make the call. I don't know who I'll call, but if it's funding, don't you think if you went to legislature, there's enough legislators, or even go to the governor's office? Everything I hear, we got all this money in the state, right? If you said the Lobo Aggie basketball rivalry is in danger because of security, we don't have enough money to hire sufficient security, don't you think they come up with the $10,000, $12,000, $20,000 that it would take to hire enough cops on overtime security to make sure that building's secure? Don't you think they would do that?
Yes.
That give you 95% absolute yes, if that's the answer. I don't know what the answer is, but I got to believe it shouldn't be that hard that you're willing to just blow a rivalry that's been around for a century that means so much to so many people. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by STEM.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke.
Milwaukee 4-1, team that had the most wins in the NBA this year. They beat Boston 4-3, and they're up 3-0. Team with, I think, the second most wins in the NBA this year. So you get to the NBA Finals, it's not about seeding anymore. And for those that are thinking that this is going to be an easy series, I don't even know what to say to you people. I mean, like, this is going to be the biggest challenge of our lives. It's the NBA Finals. You know, this is, you're trying to win the first NBA championship in franchise history. It's going to be the hardest thing that we've ever done, which is the way it should be.
Michael Malone, head coach, Denver Nuggets. They get started tomorrow up in that other Mile High city. the one 6 hours north here, that other Mile High city, Denver, Colorado. It'll be popping up in Colorado as Miami comes in. Look, this is a different 8 seed. It's a different world, right? I heard Jimmy Butler say the other day, we're not an 8 seed. Well, you are. It's like when Rod Brindamore, who's the head coach of the Carolina Panthers in the National Hockey League, they got swept by Florida, right, in the conference finals, Florida Panthers. And Brindamore said, we didn't get swept. We were, well, you did. No, we were in every game, and okay, that's good. There were 4 close games, but you got swept. We're not an 8 seed. You are, but you're a different 8 seed. And I think in today's world, with a play-in tournament and load management and everything that else goes on, yeah, they're an 8 seed, but stop looking at their number, for crying out loud. You look at their number for historical perspective, and they're the second ever 8 seed to make it this far. Dude, that's a good team. That was a team that was in the finals 2 years ago.
3 of the last 4 Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
with the Miami Heat.
Yeah,
they get the job done.
And nobody will pick them next year as their top 5 team,
or pick them in the NBA Finals. And I think, kind of going into tomorrow throughout the day, I think the selections should even out. Nuggets betting favorite. Understand that, but as Michael Malone just said, like, this series is going to be fantastic because of the way the Heat play. And these two teams, their identities flow through their best player. Jokic and the Nuggets and Jimmy Butler, both teams are cool, calm, and collected. You've never questioned the effort. You haven't questioned the coaching, and it should be a fantastic matchup.
So Dan sent me a text. It's on the previous subject and this subject. And he says, get an organized summit to discuss resolution and preparedness in regards to the Lobo Aggies stuff. Get it out in the open. And he said, Denver in 4. I said, 4? He said, sweep. So he's calling sweep. I don't see it, but I've heard a lot of people calling Denver in a short series. I know both of you were Nugget fans and you're nervous. Right? That's how it is. Don't even say it. Don't say it. Right? Tell me where.
Well, I didn't think the Nuggets were going to sweep the Lakers.
Right? Well, that wasn't really a sweep. I mean, they were all close games, and I mean, we didn't get. Yeah, you did. You got swept. Where does Miami have an advantage? They have an advantage at coach, and I don't think it's a huge advantage. I think Michael Malone's a good coach. I just think Eric Spoelstra is a great coach. Okay? I don't think it's a huge advantage. This isn't like last series, where I thought he was way better than Joe Mazzulla. They have Jimmy Butler, so they have that grit, that nasty to them. But where on the floor do they have an advantage?
Well, and the easy answer is, well, they don't.
Okay.
Well, they just went through a player that you're like, well, how do you stop him? Giannis? They figured it out.
Yeah.
They went through a team in Boston that should have been so much better than Miami offensively. And then in the biggest game of the series, they held them to 84 points. It's a style, it's a mentality that works for the Heat.
And that's where the advantage that they have is a big advantage. It's a style, it's a grit, it's a way of life, almost kind of a thing. I know that's probably a little too ridiculous, but what did I tell you going into the playoffs? Why I like Miami? They just have that it this time of year. There's a nastiness to them, right? There's a mean streak. There's their demeanor, and even when they win, right? I love that they don't get too high and don't get too low. I love that Jimmy Butler, the only smile was when he went over to his buddies on the sideline.
Pulling an NHL move. He's like, I'm not touching that trophy.
Yeah, that's right. But his demeanor when they win or when they lose, and we played it yesterday. When you go back to how they lost in Game 6, how they handled it, what they said, that's the it. When you talk about there's the intangible, the it factor, whatever it is, and I don't even know if you can learn that. Maybe you can, but it's got to be in you to have that sort of demeanor, to be that cool when you win, that cool when you lose, to be focused on it, to have everybody telling you you're done and respond like that. There's something that's just inside of you. I don't know if that's learned. It might be just innate. It might be just kind of how you're made. Maybe you can learn it. Whatever it is, I mean, every one of those guys has it. Caleb freaking Martin, Jimmy Butler. I saw a stat yesterday. Pat Riley is a player, coach, and front office guy. Has been in 24.7. That's basically a quarter of the NBA Finals in the history of the NBA.
Here's another one for you. Kevin Love. Every time Kevin Love has made the postseason, he's played in the NBA Finals.
Is that right?
So get yourself Kevin Love.
There was a guy back in the day named Billy Paultz. They called him the Whopper. Played in the ABA with the San Antonio Spurs. Paultz. Paultz. And wherever he went, he would play in the playoffs. Bounced around a little bit. Robert Horry, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's dudes just know how to win. Ray, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Ray.
How's it going, guys?
Good. What's up?
Dan, but UNM, New Mexico State thing, this is the only thing that happened in the basketball. You know what I mean? It all stems from football. And, you know, I know, like you said, don't point fingers and stuff, but we've been going to games for UNM and football games at New Mexico State, too. 15, 20 of us family members. And if you have a Lobo shirt on at New Mexico State, you get heckled and told all kinds of stuff, flipped off and everything before you even walk into the gate.
Does it go the other way?
When you're there and you're sitting there watching the game, they're throwing ice cubes at you and stuff like that. It happens all the time. And it's not only with UNM. If you remember, there was other schools that went down to New Mexico State and said that they would never go back, the fans, because of the way the crowd acted in Las Cruces. I think that's where it stems from, and nothing's happened. It went on for years. And like I say, I don't know, you guys, if you guys have, I know you guys go in and you got press passes and stuff like that, so you guys go in and you're sitting on the sidelines and stuff. But if you take your daughter to a New Mexico State game at New Mexico State football game and you're wearing UNM stuff, it might change your idea. How do the two games, even though it is a rivalry?
Yeah, hey, Ray.
The stuff your daughter will hear, it's ridiculous.
So
man.
Ray, is it like how do Lobo fans treat Aggie fans when they're in their building? Are they welcoming? They don't do the same sort of thing?
Yeah, you get heckled a little bit, but I have it all in all the games and everything. Have you heard anyone coming back and saying they'll never come to New Mexico to play a football game with the fans getting in fights and stuff like that and getting stuff like that? It's only been in Cruces, and I'm not wanting to point fingers. I like the rivalry, but if New Mexico State ain't going to fix the problem that's been going on for 10, 12 years, why are you putting New Mexico into it when if you look at the history, it's a whole different ball game playing the game at New Mexico than playing the game at New Mexico State.
All right, Ray. Appreciate you. Thanks. 505-246-0610 is how Ray got to us. Pete, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Pete.
Good morning. Yeah, I'll just start by kind of tagging on to that last call. You know, if people are going to get on here, let's spit facts. Like, this guy is all about opinion about what happens down in New Mexico State and naming schools that don't want to go down there. Tell us who's ever said that. That's
I don't know. I don't recall hearing that either. I don't know that I've heard people say we're not going to go back and play there.
Yeah, and my own experiences here, you know, as an Aggie fan attending UNM games, I've had Snake, the mascot for UNM, get in my face after a game, challenge me to a fight. So it happens in both places. It's, you know, it's things like that you know, it's going to happen. It's a rivalry, but let's stick to the facts. You know, this whole thing about UNM backing out of this game, this started about a month ago when Hooten first started trying to put his schedule together, and that was one of his first priorities, and this is inside information, was to get those two games on the calendar because there was already talk that they weren't going to be there. And the whole thing with UNM has to do with them want to get off to a great start like they did last year, 14-0. They were ranked. Patino knows that he can not have more than one out-of-conference loss and still needs to finish in the top three of the Mountain West to even have a shot at an at-large bid. He's not going to take any chances on the road. He's not going to play anyone on the road. And if this was really about security, I think JJ mentioned this before, this football game, which will have 25,000-plus people, will have two fan bases intermixing in the tailgate lots for 6 hours prior to the game, and tons of people in town, you know, post-game and pre-game at Boston bars and students included. That would be the discussion. It wouldn't be this basketball game in Las Cruces. It has nothing to do with security. It's all about Patino trying to protect that pre-conference record and you know, get off to a great start. I don't blame him for that, but come on, this rivalry's been going on for 100 years. This is something that he cannot just come in and change for the state of New Mexico just because he, you know. The other thing that I keep hearing is you know, New Mexico State is jealous about UNM success. UNM success, they had one good year in 8 years, and they went 8-12 the second half of the season and lost to a WAC team on their home floor. So yes, they got off to a great start, but it's not like we're dealing with some Duke. You know, Duke or North Carolina. You know, this is something that is becoming ridiculous, and it really boils down to again UNM just wanting to ensure that they get off to a great start, and it has nothing to do with security.
All right, Pete, thank you. Appreciate you. I guess if they want to get off to a great start, you'd think they'd play them twice, right?
Yes.
I mean, get a true road win. I mean, by all accounts, New Mexico State, well, not by all accounts,
those are what is hard to find. Not a good game, a true road game in non-conference
They each
play.
get one. There's not by all accounts. Facts. New Mexico State's rebuilding their roster, their program, right? You should beat them this year. Now, if you say I don't want to play them because they're going to be a 250 a net ranked team, I guess it's a conversation. But again, I think it's short-sighted one-year thing, right? How many, when the schedule comes out, do you think New Mexico State would be the lowest net ranked team on their schedule?
No.
I just don't know that I buy that totally, right? I don't know that was 100%. I know Aggie fan has been saying that. I do know that Jason Hooten tried to schedule that, and that was a priority, and that UNM has been saying, hey, we're not ready to schedule that game because of those other issues. And so the perception from the Mexico State side is, well, we got nothing to do that. We don't want to play them, right? 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. I just, let's find a way to fix it. Let's stop pointing fingers about who did it, whose fault it is. And I don't know if it's a money issue and security, I'm going to guess the state will help you with money and security to keep people safe, to play these two games. We've been doing it for a long time. This rivalry is important to you. This rivalry is important to this fan base, both of these fan bases. To watch it go away, man, it just feels like such an injustice. I'm not blaming anybody. All I know is the loser is going to be you, the basketball fan, who your two biggest. Give me one bigger sports day of the year. Is it opening day for football? It's not. The two biggest days on the sports calendar every year are those two games, right? In this state. Is there a bigger one? State high school football championship, the state championship at the Pit. I mean, what's bigger? Are those? Give me something bigger than those two dates.
Those are marquee, meaningful dates.
Every single year. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors.
Paul says the text line, Lobo fans are funny. Aggie fans are funny. Lobos will sweep NMSU guaranteed. Aggies are really good at being friendly on bus rides, but on the hardwood, not so much. All right, we've been into this a lot. Where do you come out on the rivalry? I think bottom line is for you, most of you, you want to see the games. Now, Rudy called in and said, once should be enough. Really? I mean, okay, but why? Give me bigger day on the sports calendar. Give me something. I mean, if you're a football fan, you look forward to something else. But this is a basketball state of. I think we've watched that forever. It's inarguable. It's two of the top 5 dates, and I would argue maybe the top 2 dates on the sports calendar in this state. New Mexico at New Mexico State, New Mexico State at New Mexico. Basketball. So, Lobo Hobo's in on Patino's contract, Jeff. You dress for the job you want. I think Nunez knows that the next coach costs $1.3 to $1.4 million. It's going to be a lot easier for the state of New Mexico taxpayers to swallow if Patino's already making 1.1 than requesting that kind of bump if Richard is at 850,000. Okay, maybe. Not worried about that. All right, if you want to continue on that, you can. We're here for you at 505-246-0610. NBA Finals tomorrow. What's a bigger story, Jimmy Butler or Nikola Jokic? Jimmy Butler is now because Nikola Jokic has been quiet for 10 days, but when it's all done, bigger story is going to be Jimmy Butler and Nikola Jokic. One of those guys is going to be the issue.
It's whoever wins the series.
All right. So right now it's Jimmy Butler. What makes Jimmy Butler so special? Would you say he's the best player in the league? You wouldn't. Would you say he's the most physical, most athletic? You wouldn't. So I'm going to go back to it, right? Whatever it is, the intangible. Playoff Jimmy is different. But it's a mentality, the way he treats his teammates. It doesn't seem arguable that he's a leader in that locker room, right?
Oh, no doubt.
Listen to Jimmy Butler talk about the way he talks about his team.
I don't call them role players. I call them teammates because your role can change any given day, especially with how many games I've missed and, in and out of lineup, off nights, whatever you call it. But we got some hoopers. We got some real deal basketball players that can score, can defend, can pass, and can win games for us.
You know, I hear other people use the term, like LeBron used that term during the series against the Nuggets. Well, their role players really played well. And I find it, and I know it's used by broadcasters a lot.
Yep.
And I always find it to be such a condescending term. And I don't know what's better. I mean, if you're not one of the stars, are you a role player? I imagine. I guess everybody else
Probably used it last week, and I'm like, does anyone want to be a role player?
Yeah. No, you did when you were talking about filling out the Lobos roster. Right? But don't you find it, like, if you were one of those guys, are you cool being a role player? I guess you are. But the term's a bit condescending, is it not?
I've never viewed it that way, but I'm not an NBA role player. But I think this just speaks more towards the tone that is set in that locker room, and confidence, even at the highest level, can go a long way, where you have your best player saying, I believe in you. And it is a different dynamic. LeBron's like, all right, who are my role players? Who's playing around me?
My guys, yeah.
But that's the tone that he has set, through his entire career, versus the Jimmy Butler, us against the world. I'm just one of you guys. Let's go get it done.
And I think that's part of the it. I think that's part of what makes 4 undrafted guys, a guy out of Wheeling Jesuit and UC Santa Barbara and Nevada. I think it's part of what makes those guys, I'm sorry, stars on this stage.
Well, and you look at, too, it's not just like, the Heat found these guys. These guys were on other teams. Max Strus was cut by the Celtics.
Carolina cut Caleb Martin.
Caleb Martin, they didn't re-sign him.
The Hornets.
The Hornets.
Yeah.
They had both Martin brothers
Yeah.
on the roster
Yeah.
at one point in time. And they didn't re-sign him. And the Heat are like, well, that's cool. Let's bring this guy in and look at what they turn into on this team.
It's bonkers. You look at the salaries, right? And look, you and I are all going to play for the minimum right now. Somebody says to you here, hey, all I got for you is $1.8 million this year. You cool?
Yes.
You and I are all doing it. But I look down this roster, and I say, Gabe Vincent is making $1.8 million. Max Strus is making $1.8 million. Caleb Martin is rich at 6.4, almost $6.5 million. You're like, damn. Right?
And this has so many other organizations around the NBA going, hold up. What are we missing? We're sitting here talking about having a supermax 2 players. Oh, we need a 3rd star in here, and the Miami Heat are doing what now?
You know who I forgot's on that roster? And I don't think he's on the active roster. Orlando Robinson, that 7-footer from Fresno State. I don't know if he's active or not, but he's on that roster. But you start looking at Haywood Highsmith. Who? Yeah, that's the dude from Wheeling Jesuit who's coming in and getting numbers. $1.7 million. Yeah, I mean, you and I we're jumping. I mean, Bam Adebayo's making north of 30, and Jimmy Butler's making north of 37. But after that, those 2 guys, your next highest paid player. You got Kyle Lowry at 28. So you got your 3 dudes. All right, when we come back, I think this is like the lamest, and I'm going to read the email that came in. I heard the take on our air yesterday. I think it is the lamest take in regards to the NBA Finals that we're looking at. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by STEM.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
NBA hot take. Bourne sent me an email. Says, Jeff, we love LUVVV. Wait, am I seeing too many V's? Yeah, 3 V's. We love seeing a number 16 seed knock off a number 1 in the NCAA tournament. In the NBA tournament, not so much. This is the most meaningless bowl since the bubble. Signed, Bourne. I think it's NBA lame take. Bourne, I love you. I think your contribution to this show is terrific, and please continue. But I think that take is so off. I heard on our air on this radio station yesterday, JJ, that this matchup is trash. Can we make a distinction, please? So the networks, while they won't say it, I'm certain would have loved to have the Lakers and Celtics. Mm-hmm. History, L.A., Boston, big markets, East Coast, West Coast.
LeBron James.
Yes. Can we make a distinction between what the networks would have liked to see and what may be the best? You got the best player in basketball. You got the best story of basketball. You may have the best coach in basketball. You got 2 markets who are hungry. I've said this a bunch of times, and I'll say it again. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it's not good. Just because you don't know about something, I've never heard of that, that doesn't mean it's not good. Just because you don't know anything about the Nuggets or the Heat doesn't mean it's not good. DC, we talked yesterday a little bit about the ratings, right? And, okay, the ratings may be down because maybe less people are interested in. So who are we doing this for? Are we doing it for the TV networks? Or are we doing?
Of course we're doing it for TV.
Okay.
So we do everything for it.
Do you think then why have freaking playoffs? Then just pick your teams. First of all, take teams out of Denver and Milwaukee and Orlando and San Antonio, whatever markets you don't like. But the take that this is trash is the worst take I've heard in a long time. What is trash about this? Now, is it as sexy as Lakers Celtics? It's not. You got all that history, and you to rerun all the Bird Magic stuff, and Cousy and West, and Chamberlain and Russell, and yeah, okay. But it's 2023, and the 2 teams that earned their way in, and by the way, one of them's a 1 seed, is in the tournament, is in the final. We keep saying, well, I don't want to see the same thing over and over, and then you get something totally fresh, totally entertaining, totally interesting. And not all of you, but there's a percentage of people like Bourne, like I heard on our radio station yesterday, this is trash. Well, then don't watch it. But there's nothing trash about the series. I mean, you guys tell me, what am I missing that somehow makes this trash? That makes this the most, as this says, the most meaningless bowl since the bubble. Why is this meaningless?
And they had their opportunity. The Lakers and Celtics were in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals.
One got swept and one
lost.
gagged on Game 7. Should we go replay it so you get what you want?
And if it was rigged, wouldn't we somehow, some way be seeing Lakers and Celtics?
Stop it with the rig thing, and it's they get what they want. And it's such crap. I see this and I hear this period. I don't think this is the majority, by the way. Do you?
No, but it's a prominent take.
What do you think?
Anyone who says this is trash is not an NBA fan. This could be one of the most exciting series in a long time.
It could be, or it could not be. But it's 2 teams that are good stories that earn their way there with really good storylines, right? Are they catering to the non-NBA fan or the NBA fan? Right? This is the time. The World Series is the only time a lot of people watch baseball. Super Bowl's the only time some people watch football. So are they catering to the non-NBA fan? I don't know. Are they going to watch it? I mean, how does Lord Stanley feel about Las Vegas playing Miami or Florida for the Stanley Cup final, right? Then stop putting teams in these markets if you don't want them there. and and stop having playoffs. Just pre-pick what you want and go. But the take that this is trash, I'm sorry. Was the Boston series against Miami, was that entertaining?
It was wild.
Were the 4 games, Lakers and Nuggets, were those entertaining? But I want Boston and LA. All right, I'll tell you what, man. I think I got a DVR in my garage. I'm not even a DVR. What do you call this? A VCR player. Yeah, I got one in the garage. And I'll bet I got an old cassette somewhere in a box of an 84, 86 matchup between the Celtics and the Lakers. Knock yourself out. But we always say it, and I like it happened. And look, TCU got run out 65-7 in the national championship game of football. But we're all like, I'm so tired of Clemson and Alabama. I was glad we got to see something else. Now that was rough. It was a rough watch. I don't know. You tell me where I'm wrong here, because I'm not. I'm listening. Born, hit me. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me why this is the most meaningless bowl since the bubble. Those of you who aren't interested, like that's cool. Don't watch. But tell me why this isn't good, why it should be something else. Didn't we just have a 2-month playoff to get here? 505-246-0610. I'm listening. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Vieta and JJ Bob.
Just heard a word I hadn't heard in a long time. Walking down the hall. Heard the word snazzy. The last time you used or heard the word snazzy used in a sentence?
Been a minute.
Would that work if like Words for Friends is snazzy? Would that count? Double Z, you'd have to have a blank, huh? All right, we've been a lot of places. Actually, we haven't been that many places today. We've been on the Lobo Aggie rivalry basketball, and story that came out that, I mean, I've been following it for, JJ, what, a month and a half, more than that. That there's a chance the Lobos and Aggies won't play basketball this year. The one piece we haven't touched on, and we're going to go to the phones here in a second at 505-246-0610. The women are only going to play once. You're good with that, and
it's not as impactful as the men.
100%. Now, that's not to downplay women's basketball, but I don't know how many of you circle that game on your calendar or those games on your calendar every year, right?
And that one, there has been a bigger discrepancy in net ratings.
There has.
Now, the New Mexico State women's team is on the right path.
Mm-hmm. I think Jody's done a nice job. They won the CBI, the WBI this year, right? They won their postseason tournament. They did. You didn't know that? Yeah, she did a nice job. I think they went to the WBI and they won that. So they're on the right path. There's, and for those of you just joining us, interesting conversation today. And I'm not here to point fingers. And we went through how we got to this point.
Cal Baptist won it.
Oh, did they lose to Cal Baptist? Okay. I knew they went to the finals of that thing. I thought they won it. I could swear I saw a picture of them with a trophy, no? All right, Cal Baptist won it. Where was it going? Oh, yeah. Point fingers all you want. At this point, you've got a rivalry that's a century old that means a lot to the people of this state. It means a lot to the alumni of those schools. I will argue, and I'm listening, nobody's giving me something bigger. If it's not the two biggest sport dates on the calendar each year in this state, give me something bigger. It's not opening day of baseball. It's not even the first game of football. Is it the Lobo Aggie football game? I'll listen to that. It's not opening day for United or New Mexico Bowl or any of those things. Two of the biggest days of the year, if not the two biggest on the sports calendar, are when New Mexico plays basketball at New Mexico State and New Mexico State plays basketball at New Mexico. And we're looking at a real scenario where both of them go away. And we got a dispute over security, and I understand it. It's a real issue, right? New Mexico feels that they just want a plan, and New Mexico State says, "What do you want me to do?" And the answer is figure it out, because the people who are going to lose are you. And at some point, this coach and these coaches, these athletic directors will move on, and you're going to be left here and go, "What happened to my rivalry?" And you want to blame Mike Peake, you want to blame the guy, the UNM students, you want to stop. Let's figure it out. Okay? And we've done the blame game for a long time. We realize there's a blame game, we got a problem. Now let's fix it. And if that means extra security, make a plan. New Mexico State does not manage their building, the Pan Am Center. Okay, get with the people who do and make sure that there's a plan. If that means going to Santa Fe and saying, "Hey, I need money or I need state police for security," I'm going to almost guarantee you Santa Fe would say, "Yeah, let's figure it out." So that's where we've been with that. You want to get in on the NBA Finals, you can do that as well. But that's where we're going today. All right? Because I know this means a lot to you, and you've been ringing the phones. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Edward.
Well, top of the morning to you all. As we venture into June tomorrow, it's crazy how fast the year goes. By the way, let me say, your show is the bee's knees, Jeff and JJ. Just a little play on words as you walk down the hall.
Yeah, that's pretty snazzy. Yeah.
It's snazzy, yeah. Hey, just deal with my intonation today, on my voice inflections. Regarding the whole UNM State thing, you're right, Jeff and JJ. You to correction, but don't overcorrect. I think the big mistake people make in life is they overcorrect when a situation occurs. It was unfortunate, that series of events, but you don't have to sway the other way completely in the other direction. And it's just funny listening to the fans. I look at it objectively. The Louisville program is on its way. They're doing some good things, but I still am sequestered, and I'm a slave to logic. And I say UNM was a team that finished sixth in their conference and couldn't win a home game against the conference that they complain about. And New Mexico State is 1 year removed from beating the reigning national college basketball champs in the NCAA tournament. Did they not beat UConn the year before in that NCAA tournament?
They did. Yeah, they did.
Absolutely, they did.
Yeah.
So UNM fans just kind of pump the brakes a little bit on. They're trying to avoid two losses. That's just my objective opinion. Regarding the NBA, I'm excited about these finals. I'm saying Nuggets in 5. I think that tomorrow night's an opportunity for the Heat to steal a game because they still have momentum. Shoot, it's been a week and a half, but I don't believe that the Heat are going to have any answer for the Nuggets size. And Jokic, who is, in my opinion, the best player in the league and should have won 3 straight MVPs, I think he's going to annihilate Adebayo and whoever they put on him. And he touches the ball in every possession, and for him to facilitate is amazing. I have a friend in our text conversations that is a slave to the 80s, and he romanticizes the past, as we all do. So we watched the 1985. It's funny you referenced it today, Jeff. We referenced the 1985 finals, and in my opinion, there's 3 of the all-time best players in that series with Magic, Bird, and Kareem. It's comical. And at the time, it was amazing. It is comical. Nobody could shoot, with the exception of Bird. The defense was non-existent. All Magic did was turn the ball over. And it's not a small sample size. Watch multiple games, but it was amazing in its time. And
the physicality was something that would
get romanticize the past. It was genius in the mid '80s, but it wasn't as great as we thought it was. And you just can't compare generations. You just can't. You just can't do it. And even in the '90s, when they talk about the physicality of the game, nobody could shoot, with the exception of a few guys. And it was just a different game. But do yourself a favor and watch it. And what also cracked me up finally is your Billy Pulse reference. Yeah. We always reference Billy Pulse as a joke, and I just laughed out loud when you referenced him today. So thank you for sharing that. Have a delightful day, guys.
You go back and watch the physicality. That stuff will get you thrown out of the league now. Mid '80s. Everything's flagrant. Different day, evolution, different time. Our time was always better. Richard said, could it be folks are not buying into this finals because JJ's Nuggets equal to San Antonio Snores? Denver's the most boring club in the series in a decade? I don't know. Are they that boring? What makes them so boring?
Keep hating on winners.
Yeah, tell me what makes them boring. Because they run the ball through the post, or a big Caucasian who can't jump over a phone book.
They don't have drama.
There's no drama. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This one is from Gus. He says, let's reseed the state tournament and play it again, Jeff. That way we can get the Lakers, Warriors versus the Celtics or Sixers. Well, let's do that. All right, I'll get this one. It says, because it is condescending. That's a good one. When we come back, so we've been waiting for the next shoe to fall in conference realignment, right?
Mm-hmm.
San Diego State's sitting on the cusp, just waiting for the Pac-12 to send the invite. And the Pac-12 has been trying to put together their TV deal. And we've been waiting and waiting. And what's the next shoe? And can the Pac-12 stay together? Well, there's a report out today that one of those four corner schools is considering leaving the Pac-12. And what would that mean if that happens? How real are those conversations, and what would it mean to college athletics? That's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Telling it like it is.
Because what Baltimore's betting.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
and act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
College sports landscape has been in flux for quite some time, as you well know. This is the last season. The SC and UCLA are going to be in the Pac-12. They're going to Big Ten. What happens to the Pac-12? Texas and Oklahoma this year, this next, right? Are we in this year yet? School's out, right? This next coming college football year, Oklahoma and Texas, they go in the SEC, right? So what's going to happen with the Pac-12 and then San Diego State, SMU, all that stuff? Okay. There's a report by Dennis Dodd. Dennis Dodd's pretty credible, right? In regards to college football reporting, college sports, CBS Sports is where he's with. He says the University of Colorado, Deion U, has been holding why can't I say that word? Substantive. Can you say it? Substantive. Talks with substance with the Big 12 that has Colorado weighing its future with the Pac-12 and maybe moving to the Big 12. And when I was in Scottsdale, there was a lot of talk in the hallways. Colorado was talking the Big 12 and what are they going to do? And it really heated up, JJ, last week. The Oklahoman, a newspaper in Oklahoma City, their reporter Barry Trammell reported that, quote, Colorado is ready to commit to joining the Big 12 soon, end quote. And that really heated things up, right? Both commissioners of the Pac-12, George Kliavkov, and the commissioner of the Big 12, Brett Yormark, both basically said nothing. I got no comment. If Colorado would go to the Big 12, they would get a full share of media rights, $31.7 million starting in 2025, because they've got a clause in their deal that says any current power conference team who comes into the league would get a full share. And the concern then is, JJ, if they go, and according to every report, Deion Sanders would have to be on board. Does Utah, Arizona State follow? All right, you guys, this is kind of your beat, both of you guys. DC, JJ, Colorado, better off.
That's in my beat.
Well, kind of. I mean, you're from up there originally, right?
No.
All right. A little bit.
New Mexico, bro.
Oh, sorry, bro. Colorado better off in the Big 12 or Pac-12?
You know, a lot of the old Big 12 rivalries are gone. So, like Nebraska, if they were still there, that probably be
Nebraska,
something.
Texas, Oklahoma, all gone.
Right, exactly. So what's the point?
So who? Well, I don't know. Who's your rivals? Do you fit in this league?
Not anymore.
Do you fit in that league?
Probably not.
So, do you like playing Stanford, Cal? It would be San Diego State, SMU, Utah, Arizona State. Or do you rather play Baylor, TCU? Kansas State, Iowa State.
That does not sound exciting.
Houston, Central Florida.
West Virginia.
Yeah. Do you like $31.7 million guaranteed, or, well, we're not really sure what we're getting?
They don't need it.
I mean, they don't need it.
They have $500 million in endowment.
Yeah, but
year.
athletics doesn't get to dip into that endowment every year.
If that goes straight to athletics, then that's a big number.
No, that's their number. What do you think? Where they better fit? And are they the domino that's going to tilt this whole damn thing? Colorado?
Colorado works in both. Is playing Kansas, Baylor, basketball makes sense. Football-wise, you think you're going to be a factor with Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
And those are both winnable leagues.
We may hear something this week. The Big 12 is getting together. They have spring meetings in West Virginia this week. There's a strong feeling, and this is where the domino thing comes in, that if Brett Yormark can get one Pac-12 school to defect, and in this case it would be Colorado, Then Arizona State, Utah would go as well. Then what happens to the Pac-12, right? Now you're sitting there with Washington.
Is a Big 12, have they signed their deal or are they up to
Yeah, no, they've got their deal. Their deal's done.
Well, then how big do you want to get?
Well,
like when you get to these 16, 18 team conferences.
Where are they at now? They're at 14 or 12.
And what is the goal?
I think they're at 12 right now. Well, 16 seems like a number that none of them are afraid of. Yormark's made it very clear he wants to be in all 4 time zones. Getting the Arizona schools that time of year would get him in all 4 time zones, right? If Colorado goes, what does the Pac-12 do?
You're not playing all those schools anyway every year.
No, you're not. Is Colorado State then attractive to the Pac-12 as they try to cobble something together? So then they're looking like Washington and Oregon, Washington State, Oregon State, Stanford, Cal. And that's it, right? You got those 6 left. That's what you would have, right?
By default.
So do you try to cobble it together with Colorado State, San Diego State, SMU, or do you think Washington, and this is what I think happens, I think Washington and Oregon say, holy bleep, and they figure out how to get into the Big Ten and take less than a full share.
Because if they were going, the Big Ten would have called them right now.
And they've had conversations, but it's not a full share conversation. So if that's, and then you have Oregon State, Washington State, Stanford, and Cal in the Mountain West. Which, I mean, it would be interesting for the Mountain West. What would it mean for San Diego State, and who knows? But this is one to really watch. This is one to really, really watch. Because, JJ, I've had a weird feeling, and I know you and I have talked about this quite a bit. The longer the Pac-12 negotiations go on, it just feels like somebody's going to get nervous, doesn't it?
It does. You want that guaranteed TV money coming in, knowing what the landscape's going to be like. And right now, the Pac-12 still has all the access they need. So is that going to change?
The Pac-12 doesn't have anything going forward. They got nothing going forward. Right? They've been talking. We've heard ESPN in, out, in, out, in, out. We've heard Fox is out.
When it comes to competing, like college football playoff.
Oh yeah. But what happens? It's a great question too, because there's 3 years left in the cycle.
And this is it in a roundabout way. It kind of gets us back to the NBA Finals conversation. None of this stuff is about. They say you need the money to be competitive, but it's just, what are you playing for then? If you're just in these like billion team leagues, like what are we doing?
Look, I hate it too. No, I hate it. I said this to you, I don't know how long ago, but I think we're going to look back on this in 5-10 years and say, how did we destroy college athletics? There's no regional rivalries anymore. I mean, there are. Ohio State, Michigan's still there. I guess SC UCLA will still be a thing. It'll just be in different leagues, or in a different league. But how much are you going to miss Arizona, UCLA in basketball? You are. SC and Oregon in football. You're going to miss it, aren't you? I missed Texas and Texas A&M in football. Now they're going to reunite in the SC or in the SEC. But as a Colorado fan, you don't get Colorado, Nebraska anymore. Colorado, Texas, Colorado, OU. I just think the things that made college football great, it feels like we've watched break up. Why? Because of money and TV and accessibility. And while it gets better in some respects, I mean, it comes back to what we've been talking about today. What do you love about college athletics in this state? You love that rivalry with the Aggies, right? You love that rivalry with the Lobos. And now we're talking about maybe watching it go away. Why? Because of security? Because we can't sit down at a table and figure it all out? We can't get everybody together and just go, okay, this is what we need to keep our people secure. All right, this is what we're going to do. Sometimes I wonder if just the real meaning of some of this stuff gets lost in who we're doing this for. All right, when we come back, it is condescending. That's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Telling it like it is.
The Clippers season now is over again.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From 4 till 7 on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Lobo Hobo's watching on the simulcast. Appreciate that. Over on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM. Or on Comcast Channel 26 or on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. Adrian produces for us. Lobo Hobo says, well, that's not even it. You dressed for the job you want. Oh, this was from Rod. He says, what's the occasion today, Jefferson? You didn't get dressed up like that for this award-winning OD audience. Yeah, no, I did. Of
course he did.
I thought it was time to go, as someone said, snazzy. It was just time to give you a little snazz.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what it is. All right. We had the conversation earlier. Role players. Jimmy Butler says, I don't call them role players, I call them teammates. It's a condescending term. It is. It's basically saying you're not as good as these guys, and the reality is they're not, right? No, there's your LeBron James, and there's your Nikola Jokic's, and there's your other guys, right? What's the word? Remember we had the conversation about Power 5 and then mid-major, right? We're playing semantics, and I think, if you say high major, it's better than mid-major, but whatever. It's all, right? But because mid-major is an insulting term. The mid-majors, like the Mountain West, are going like, hell, don't call us mid-major, right? Okay. I mean, it's the same concept, isn't it?
Yes. Soft.
Fair. All right, this says, it's from Grady. It says, it is condescending. All stars, no scrubs of the OD and the AM. To paraphrase an old judicial quote, I don't exactly know what it is, but I know it when I see it, end quote. Jimmy Butler absolutely has it. Doesn't matter to him what they say about him, about the team, about how they're a low seed. All he does is come through when it matters the most. And to play on his take on role players, his coming through isn't only about him making a big play. It also includes facilitating teammates and making sure they're in position to make plays. If you don't, this is his belief and confidence in them, make a difference in their play on the court, then you're crazy. Miami is the ultimate example of greater than the sum of their parts. And Butler, without a doubt, adds to that fact. I've made a comparison before. Miami is like the upstart 2A or 3A squad that doesn't look like much on paper in warm-ups. They're not invincible. But if you don't bring your A game, they'll embarrass you and leave both you and the experts wondering how that team won. It continues. It says, I couldn't agree more about this matchup is trash take. It's the absolute worst take. Period. Full stop. It's a pathetic attempt to sound knowledgeable when the teams you don't like aren't in. Who knew that NBA rating wishes is what determines which matchup is trash and which is treasure? The only trash thing about the NBA Finals is that take. All players have roles. Some players are starters, some come off the bench, some only contribute in practice, but they all have roles. We love to rank and differentiate players by what we think is more important. The term role player is condescending, and it screams, I'm more important than you when a teammate uses it. Dodging raindrops up here in the village, Grady and Santa Fe. Okay. It's all semantics. To your point, is it soft? It could be a little bit. Well, but I love where Jimmy Butler goes with it and the respect that he shows.
It works.
And says, I don't use that term. They're my teammates. We're all on the same level. Now, they all know they're not. But to hear your leader say, I'm eating at the same table you're eating at, it's got to go a long way, I would think.
It absolutely does. And there is something to culture, confidence, even at the highest levels. And the way Jimmy Butler talks, he walks the walk, pairs nicely with Eric Spoelstra, and that's why the Miami Heat find themselves in another NBA final.
All right, 505-246-0610. If you want to get in, you can. 888-922-0610. Your emails coming this morning. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Lobo fan is in. Didn't sign it, but Edwards said, fact, New Mexico State, not last tournament, but the tournament before, beat the current national champion, right, UConn? This says UConn was a national championship team, or probably meant to say wasn't, or anything close to it last year when those Dixie State dominators beat them in the big dance. Who knew? I don't know. That was a pretty damn good UConn team, wasn't it? Most of those guys were the same guys that just won a championship, weren't they?
Pretty good.
I mean, give them their credit, pal. You know, you can call them Dixie State dominators all you want. Pretty sure they split with you that year, right? Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they did, though. But I'm pretty sure that was a pretty good UConn team. Like, give them their credit. They did win that game. Mike sent me a story about renovation for the Pan Am Center from 2006 and 7 that said in 2005 the New Mexico State legislature approved $23 million to renovate the Pan Am Center, included an annex of the building and blah blah blah. And he says if it isn't part of NMSU, Jeff, why are the state of New Mexico's taxpayers getting stuck with the bill? It is part of NMSU. They don't manage it. I'm not exactly sure what their arrangement is, but I know that somebody else manages it, and they don't have full control of the building. I believe it to be a state building, but and somebody's going to have to educate me a little bit more on the exact, but I know they don't manage it, where UNM manages their facility. So whatever that means to you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, one other big story in the NBA. If I'd have said the name Bob Myers yesterday, how many people would have known who Bob Myers was?
Not a household name to a lot of people.
Would you say Bob Myers was as influential in the National Basketball Association over the last 15 years as anybody, period?
Yes.
I agree with you. Bob Myers was the general manager of the Golden State Warriors. He's the architect of putting that team together. He was the team president, general manager. He stepped down yesterday. He's 48 years old. He basically said, you got to bite on this, why he stepped down. This is the guy who drafted Steph Curry and drafted Klay Thompson and drafted Draymond Green and kept that core together, who worked the trade to get Kevin Durant, who hired and has kept Steve Kerr. He's the guy behind the scenes that put it all together. Here's the GM of the most recent dynasty in the NBA on why he's stepping away at 48.
This is tough. This is hard. I have, so many different things, emotions that I'm still processing. But the bottom line is this job, the one I'm in, and I would say this for any professional general manager or coach, requires complete engagement, complete effort, 1,000%. And if you can't do it, then you shouldn't do it. And so that's the answer to the question of why I can't do that to our players. I can't do that to Joe and Peter. Really, I can't do it to myself. And that's a question I've been wrestling with.
Give him credit for self-awareness. I don't know when you have enough money. I don't know how much money he is. I'm sure he's set fine, right? So that's not the issue. And it would always wonderfully be nice to get in a position where, I don't have to work for a while, especially at 48. But to have the self-awareness to know that I can't do this at the same pace anymore. I got to back it off. I think Bob Myers will resurface somewhere. Now, he grew up a Warrior fan. He grew up in the Bay Area. He grew up going to games up in the rafters up at the old Oakley and Alameda Coliseum, and he's a Warrior guy. Okay, and kind of grew into this role. That's secret, sneaky, quiet, huge move in the NBA, don't you think?
It is. Now, he didn't draft Steph Curry. But
that's right. That's right. Steph Curry
made the decision to go with Steph Curry over Monte Ellis. There was a time in the backcourt, Monte Ellis, you had Steph Curry.
You're right.
In Golden State.
He did draft the other guys.
Yes. But Steph, he kept hurting his ankle. And
he wasn't very good.
He wasn't playing full season. Yeah. And they had to make a choice. Which guard are we going to roll with? And they went with Steph Curry, traded Monte Ellis, and we know the story of the Golden State Warriors.
What would the Warriors be if they stayed with Monte Ellis instead of...
They would not have been dynastic.
What would Klay Thompson have been?
Good shooter.
That's it?
Just another dude in the NBA that can get you buckets.
Or would he have been better?
I think Steph maximized
Klay Thompson. I think that's probably right.
You would have Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, they would have been solid players, but they would not be household names.
Yeah. This is the architect. He's endorsing Mike Dunleavy Jr. to take over the role. We'll see where ownership goes. This is one of those, man, when you hear about the front office guys, you don't hear about them a lot. Usually you only hear about them when they screw up, right? Kind of like referees.
Well, you think about everything that was in there, not just the players, but then the Steve Kerr transition. Mark Jackson and that Warriors team, they're good, but not over the hump yet. And you bring in Steve Kerr, and then they get over the hump, and they set records, and they win 73 regular season games. They got a title, and oh, by the way, they're like, let's add Kevin Durant to this mix and go dominant.
Figure that out, right? How to get that done. Steve Kerr wasn't a guy that was on the radar. Steve Kerr was on, was it TNT? Somebody's broadcasting team. He was calling games on a network. He had been a GM now. Steve Kerr had. I want to say in Phoenix. Is that right?
Yeah.
But he'd never been a coach. Hell, you'd say he's one of the top 3 coaches, if not the top coach in the NBA, right? It's him and Spoelstra and Pop, and who else you got right now? Michael Malone, I guess, has to be in the conversation, especially if he wins this damn thing. But who else are we talking about? I mean, we like Monty Williams, we like Mike Budenholzer, but I don't know, where are you putting that guy? No, this is a sneaky big one. This is a sneaky big one. Got a text on the conference alignment. It's a huge deal right now. UT and Oklahoma The pressure and financial changes there are huge. Can't imagine what will become of those other conferences because the SEC is basically going to be it. We're headed towards two really big power conferences. What do you call? Are they super power conferences, and then the other ones are power conferences?
Yeah, and right now all that is it's just a way to talk about how much money each school is getting from their TV deal.
It's insane. All right, when we come back, if you still want to get in, you can. 505-246-0610. That's the text line and the 377 Brewery hotline. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. What you need to know as you go throughout your day, and I'll wrap you up on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family.
Everybody going to be talking about today? We'll be talking about the NBA Finals starting tomorrow. It's not trash. It's just a bad take. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it's bad. This says the NBA Finals, the champions banner will hang high and the players' rings will be worn proudly. Hope Braun gets one NBA ring and NCAA ring in back-to-back years. Who are we talking about? Why don't I know this? Christian Braun. Oh, yeah. Missed that. It's a good one. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. And thank you,
Jayhawks.
DC. No, I got it now. DC, thank you for that. I guess I that's a storyline I wasn't on.
Christian Braun, baby.
Yeah. All right. So you got that. People are going to be talking about this Lobo Aggie series. Will it happen? Are you going to get to see New Mexico play New Mexico State in basketball this year? Of course, Jeff. It happens every year. It's every year since I don't know 100 years ago, except for last year and except for COVID. And it's 2 of the last 3. You've lived through it. Whoa. We had a lot of discussion on it. Where'd you end up on this whole thing with the Aggie?
Figure it out.
Right?
Put something on paper. Say, hey, we're upping security, not just dudes wearing event shirts. Like, we'll have state police, campus police, whatever is needed on hand at these venues. Both schools agree to it just so they cover their bases and you play these games. And I know it's not the headline, it's not the marquee, but even on the women's side, playing twice makes sense. But they're going to one. I hope the men can find a way to continue to play twice a year.
So do I, and I think so do most of you. And as of now, there's a real chance they play none this year. New Mexico is willing to host New Mexico State. They're not willing to go down to New Mexico State until they see a security plan that they are satisfied keeps their people, their student athletes, their staff, their trainers, their fans safe. New Mexico State has said, and we got it today, we don't manage our facility. We don't have total control over our facility. Our police chief has called them twice. What do you do? Our facility is controlled by special events on campus. New Mexico State seems to feel maybe Pitino didn't want to play him twice. Maybe that's right. Here's what I know, and this is where I've settled on this, and this is with 27 years of experience on this. Okay, so not very much. I know that this rivalry means a lot to the people in this state. I know that some of the best, most exciting events that I've covered and been to in this state over 27 years have been New Mexico State basketball games. I know if you're a Lobo or an Aggie fan, and many of you are, when the schedule comes out, you look at a number of things, and one of the first things you look at is when are they playing the Aggies. I know it means a lot to you. I know that this athletic director or these athletic directors and these coaches will come and go, and that you're still going to be here. And the people that are going to get affected by this potentially going away are you. They'll go on, they'll do their thing. This whole, well, nobody else plays a non-conference rivalry twice. Yeah, that's right. But we do here. Why? Because it means a lot to these people. And it's worked for 100 years. Well, they're bringing down our net ranking. Who's bringing down whose? This ebb and flows too now. Now, will New Mexico State be down a little bit this year after what happened? Yeah, probably. And it's something, we don't want to play them this year. Jeff Grammer did the research. Over the last quarter century, New Mexico's average net or RPI is 87.5. New Mexico State's 109.5. Not that different, separated by 22 spots. when your schedule comes out, Level Fan, how many schools below 109.5?
The New Mexico State games are not the reason you are or are not making the NCAA tournament.
That's correct.
It is such like a weak thing to say, oh, bring it down the net ranking. We don't need to play it twice. It's the one of the few true road games you get against an opponent that could be top 120, potentially top 100.
Mm-hmm. I look long term and realize what's happened in the short term. I'm done pointing fingers, man. They didn't take responsibility. They didn't. It's their fault. No, it's their fault. It was their guys. No, it was. Stop. We're here. We're here. Fix it. How do we get through it? Sit down at a table, make a plan. I don't think anybody's going to win the court of public opinion, right? It depends what shade red your shirt is. If you're an Aggie, you're going to say Mario tried everything he wants. What do they want? It's not Mario's fault, and they don't manage their facility, and we've got plenty of security. If you wear cherry, you're going to say good for Eddie protecting his people, and there's been security issues down there, and he needs to do what he's got to do. I got it. Nobody wins. Nobody wins. You want me to mediate this thing? I'm not a mediator, but I will. I'll sit down at the table. Figure it out. And honestly, I don't. If it's a resource thing, if it's we don't have state police down here, I would almost promise. And I mean, I don't know. I can see no scenario where if you went to Santa Fe, legislators, the governor, whatever, and said, "Hey, we need help with resources for security to protect people and keep this rivalry going." Don't you think Santa Fe would find the money to get state police down there and provide security and provide a plan?
Yes.
It's a big thing here, man. You tell me what's bigger in sports in this state than the Aggie-Lobo rivalry. I'm listening. United versus El Paso Locomotive? Probably not. Isotopes versus Chihuahuas? No. New Mexico Bowl? No. What is it? Let's not lose that. The only ones who lose are you all. Yeah. The people who love it. And coaches will leave and athletic directors will move on and you're going to be going, what the hell happened to my rivalry? And how do we restart it? So, I mean, I just hope they figure it out. I'm done pointing fingers. Not that I was ever doing that, but I know a lot of people. Let's stop. It's getting you nowhere. Now let's figure it out. And I'm not telling you one side or the other has got to come to the table. I don't know. Meet in Socorro. Where's halfway, man? What's halfway between Socorro and TRC? The rest stop. I don't care. But I think, Bob Clark to say, they'll figure it out. I don't know, JJ. Are you that sure? Like he's like, they'll figure it out. I'm not that sure. Are you?
Not that confident this morning.
I haven't been that confident for the last, month and a half.
You've been there for a while.
The women, you're good with them playing one time, right?
I would still like to see them play twice, but it's not as OMG worthy as the men's game.
Okay, rotate it back and forth. And here's another thing, Aggie fan, you got to figure this out. Scheduling's hard. If you don't get the Lobo, if you lose both those games, that's 4 dates, 4 non-conference games you count on every year that you got to go find and fill. Because the 2 UTEP games that used to be non-conference games are now conference games. And if you lose the 2 New Mexico games, you got 4 spots, 2 home games, 2 big home gates. You got to fill. That's a challenge, isn't it?
It is a challenge.
Nobody wants to go down there either. So, all right, what do I got tonight? I got, by the way, have you watched the Rays at all?
Been watching them all season.
I love the story of the Tampa Bay Rays. Been watching a little bit more baseball. And I looked at the standings. Do you know right now your division winners would be Dodgers, Brewers, and Braves? All right, that kind of makes sense. Rangers, Twins, and Rays? Wait, what? Yeah, that's where you are right now. Rangers, Twins, and Rays. What do I get? 3 wild cards in each division or 2? How many do I get? 3? Yeah, it's 3. Your 3 wild cards are the Astros. I'm sorry, in order: Orioles, Yankees, Astros in the American League. You ready for this? National League: Diamondbacks, Mets, and Giants. How about what Torey Lovullo's doing with the Diamondbacks? Game and a half out of first place behind the Dodgers after beating the Rockies last.
It's early.
When do you start saying, okay, maybe there's something there? It's Memorial Day. That's kind of the first postmark, right?
I believe in the Rays.
Okay.
Everyone else, let's reconvene and talk on August 19th.
August 19th, not even July 4th?
August 19th.
What, is that trade deadline? What the hell's August 19th? What is that date? Just random? Like,
It's the day that we'll come back in and really hone in on the...
Is that your birthday? It's right around
No,
your
it's-
birthday. When's your birthday? It's right around there. Is it 23rd your birthday?
It's no different than July 4th, Memorial Day, August 19th. That will be the day we'll reconvene and look at the division.
All right, put it on the calendar. Holy
I'm
smoke.
putting it on the rundown right now.
All right, DC, good job. That was your most busy day answering phones since you've been here, huh?
Yeah, they were lighting up, and computers actually working now. So tomorrow.
Oh, now it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Adrian, great look on the TV side. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. Then you get Isotopes and Salt Lake tonight. Josh Sushan from the Beehive State. Big day for you.
Huge day.
All right, enjoy it. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school.